Hi, this is Jyoti here. Welcome to Jyopat Tech Guru. Today in this session, we are going to discuss some more tips and tricks regarding C#. So the first one is null coalescing operator, double question mark. The null coalescing operator returns left-hand operand if the operand is not null, and if it is, the right-hand operand is returned. So many a times we will be trying to access the data from the database, or we are trying to accept from a method or accept from the user. If the data is null or not, we can check it very easily using this double question mark or null coalescing operator. Using this operator, we can avoid null reference exception, which is thrown when we try to use something that is null. This is a binary operator that simplifies checking for null values. It is used to assign a default value to a variable when the value is null. So to avoid this null reference exception, you can always prefer this coalescing operator. And you can set some default values also for the same. So which are the other features? We cannot overload the null coalescing operator as it is already predefined. If we are trying to overload, we'll be getting the compiler error. Both value types and reference type support this operator. So the double question mark operator is used to check null values, and you can also assign a default value to a variable whose value is null. So let us see with an example. Here I have got two strings S1 and S2. Both are set to empty. First time I'm storing not null, and second time I'm storing null. So first time not null is getting checked here. As per the definition is concerned, we have seen that it returns left-hand operand if the operand is not null. So here in this case, it is going to return me not null. It is not necessary that you have to store every time this not null itself. You can store any string. The same string is getting returned. Here, S1 equal to null, it is going to check is whether the S1 value is null or not. If it is null, then the right-hand operand is getting returned, that is, string is null. The second one I want to discuss is tuples. So what exactly the tuples are? They are introduced in .NET Framework 4.0. A tuple is a data structure that contains a sequence of elements of different data types. How we are having structures, enumerations. Similarly, tuples are introduced in .NET Framework, which will help us to define a set of data which are of different data types. As per the definition is concerned, we are having tuple T1, T2, T3 up to T rest. The maximum limitation I can store is 8 elements. If you are trying to store more than 8 elements, it is going to give you an error. Variable numbers equal to tuple.create. Here we are trying to create the tuple using the create method. Currently we are storing 1 to 8 numbers. Not necessary that you should store only the numerical values. You can store any type of data. I've got an example here. In this example, we are trying to create the tuple and return the same. So what is a tuple definition? Int, string, string. I'm currently storing int studID equal to 100, S1 Akshay, S2 Kumar. Both are strings. So return statement will try to return this tuple which is getting created. So tuple.create of student ID, S1, S2. So 100 Akshay Kumar is getting returned from this function, get student function. So this is a way you can create the tuple and you can store the data which are of different data types. So which are the different scenarios in which I can prefer the tuples? When you want to return multiple values from a method without using ref or out parameters, you can prefer the tuples. When you want to pass multiple values to a method through a single parameter, Tuples are very helpful. When you want to hold a database record or some values temporarily without creating a separate class, you can prefer this tuples. So what are the limitations of tuple? Tuple is a reference type and not a value type. It allocates on heap and could result in CPU intensive operations. Tuple elements can be accessed using properties with the name pattern item of into bracket element number. So whenever you are trying to access the tuple, you are having item. Through that you can retrieve each and every data types which you have stored it inside the tuple. Tuple is limited to include only 8 elements. You can use nested tuples to store more than 8 elements. But again, this may result into ambiguity. So this is all about your tuple. Hope it has helped you. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead.